This is day 9 notes, solving equations with multiplication. Your notes packet might say day 11, but this is in fact day 9. So let's get going. I do want to zoom in if I can. Yay. All right, day 9, example 1. We are going to solve for x, just like last class where we were solving with addition and subtraction. Now we're doing multiplication. Just like before, where we do the inverse operation of multiplication is division. This is the inverse. Let's go like this. Inverse operation is division. Okay, so example 1, we are going to solve for x. Again, we need to isolate the variable. Isolate, which still means get alone. Whenever we have two things right next to each other, that is multiplication. So right now, this says 2 times x equals 16. So this equation is saying 2 times a number equals 16, and we need to solve for what that number is. So inverse operation, the opposite of multiplication, is division. So we are going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is actually 1. So I could put 1x, and then 16 divided by 2 is 8. But as we've talked about before in class, whenever there's a 1 and then a variable, that is the same thing as just the variable. So x equals 8. And then we can come over here to check, and we check our answer by plugging in the value of x into our equation right here. So we're going to go 2. Again, when they're next to each other, it is multiplication. So it's times 8 should equal 16. Sure enough, 16 does equal 16. All right, example 2. We are going to solve 3x equals negative 24. Let's go with green. So we draw a line. Anytime you see them next to each other, like I said, is 3 times x, and that equals negative 24. So we do the inverse operation, which is division. So we divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so it is 1x. But again, we can just write that as x, so I can get rid of that 1. And x equals negative 24 divided by 3. They are different signs, or a negative and a positive, does make a negative, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. And now we check. So I plug 8 in for x over here. So, or negative 8. So 3 times negative 8 should equal 24. Now this time I put my negative 8 in parentheses because that still means multiplication. They're still next to each other. If I just wrote it like this, that looks like 3 minus 8. But with those parentheses, I now know it's 3 times negative 8. So 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. So it is correct that x equals negative 8. All right, example 3. Let's use red this time. So again, this is multiplication, negative 4 times x. So I can do the inverse, which is division. So this time I use just a line. Up here, right here, I use this division sign. And as we talked about when we first started talking about division, This line, so kind of a fraction looking thing, this line, fraction looking thing, means the same thing. This means -4 divided by -4. And 32 divided by -4. So -4 divided by -4 is 1, but we don't need to write that, so I'm just going to write x equals 32 divided by -4. A negative and a positive make a negative when we're doing division or multiplication. It is -8. And now we check. -4 times -8. Again, those parentheses, they're next to each other. That means that is multiplication. So -4 times -8. Negative and a negative makes a positive when we're doing multiplication. So it is positive 32. Next, we have example 4. Let's use purple. Draw my line. This says -5 times a number is equal to -40. So I'm going to divide by -5 on both sides. -5 divided by -5 is just 1, or 1x, and I don't need to write the 1 because it's the same thing. So x is equal to -40 divided by -5. A negative and a negative makes a positive when we're dividing or multiplying. 40 divided by 5 is 8. Then we come over here and we check it. -5 times 8 should equal -40. -5 times 8 is, in fact, -40. So that was a quick lesson for Unit 2, Day 9. Go ahead and work on your activity, and then you'll get your half sheet after that.